Today on Big Effin' Trucks, the dry heat of San Diego wreaks havoc on the field of 16. Plus, can Amber Alert win back-to-back races to start the season, or will another driver emerge to take the win? Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Big Effin' Trucks. My name is Chip Chapman. I'm here with the racing boys. Woo! Woo! And we are here in San Diego, California for a really fun race. We're going to take a look at the course here as 16 trucks are going to be competing. It starts out with this, a straight-up bus stop. You got to jump the bus, then right into the 180-degree turn. Not as tight as last week, but it's still going to wreak some havoc. Then that final dash, pick up some speed, crush those cars, make the fans happy. We're going to take a look at the standings right now. After one race, Amber Alert is the leader with 25 big points after winning last week. Clit Punch close second with 22, followed by Cradle Robber and Semen Extractor. And there we see it's pretty tight at the bottom of the tables with Genital Giant and Oklahoma City Bomber at 9 points, and then a whole bunch of trucks at 4 points. Killer Moth and Reptile Dysfunction at the bottom with 2. But there's a lot of time, 17 more races, and we're going to go check out some of these trucks in qualifying in just a moment. Boys, it's a crazy track today. We're going to be seeing some crazy racing.
Nuts, I know.
Here we go, first one qualifying, Leland Burgess and Cradle Robber. And he makes a good pass. You can see he's sliding all over the place. 9:05, not a bad time for the Cradle Robber, but we're seeing that track. It's going to be a little on the dry side. The tires aren't gripping like they normally do.
Like my wife.
That's what I'm talking about.
He's talking about her vagina.
Now we don't know
this year's track's a fast track this week because we know 11 seconds was really the baseline time. If you went under 11, you were running a good time. But we don't know. Maybe under 9 seconds is our baseline time this week.
And here we're seeing Bort Rudiger and the Clit Punch. He goes for a wild ride. 9:19 for the man in the big pink Clit Punch. And this kid over here, he knows he's got one speed, and that is fast and dangerous. He takes out the finishing barrier. He sends that right into the mobile homes. I hope that's none of your guys' mobile homes that he just nearly ran into.
Well, I needed the insurance money, so it's okay.
You just went and parked it there.
I told my wife Arlene to park outside. She better did it. She's getting punched in the face.
Wait, I got a question here. Are you
man.
Island Rednecks?
Ain't funny.
And we got Randy Rosenlodge here again.
I fucking know. I don't know.
And we're seeing Horse Brutality. Speaking of brutality, Horse Brutality looks like something went wrong there. He's having some trouble going over that hill. Again, 18 trucks are going to qualify. Only 16 make the field, and with a run like that, Horse Brutality may not be one of them.
You know, I was on a fishing vacation, and I had to come in for this. I caught a shark.
Why'd you cut a shark?
Did you bring it?
No! I'm afraid you hicks would eat it or something.
And
Who eats shark? That's disgusting.
well,
Yeah,
speaking of sharks,
shorts.
we're seeing the qualifying run of Reptile Dysfunction, and he cut that a little too close. He went over the cars outside the barrier, slowed him down, and we're seeing the bus stop and the turn giving these trucks a lot of trouble. 9:45 for Reptile Dysfunction. And sharks are reptiles, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm stupid, but even I understand that's not the case. They're, of course, amphibians.
Meanwhile, we're
What, you mean
seeing...
like frogs and shit? Man, you are stupid.
Okay.
And
That's
here
a
we're
big
seeing...
old butt on the back of that truck.
And Jesse Schrader and Ass Master 2 puts up a decent time of 9.39.
He certainly left the other drivers with dust in the wind, didn't he, fellas?
Oh my God.
You know what I call dust in the wind? When my wife walks in front of me.
And that's not a bad time for Ass Master 2. But here we go, our only female driver, Jackie Simpson, in the menopause truck.
Hey there, baby.
And
Are you
she's...
French? What's that?
Are you a French redneck?
I had French fries for breakfast. So maybe it rubbed
Best
off
time
on
of the
me.
night.
And that is a good run for Jackie Simpson in the menopause truck. She's currently the top qualifier at 9.02. And who says women can't drive?
I do.
I do.
Truck.
Everyone does. Actually, shit. Even women say it.
Get out of that truck and into my kitchen.
I love that song. Billy Waters, or whatever his name is.
And here we see
Sorry, I
next
brought
up...
the conversation down.
I was just
Heard it
thinking
about
about
Bobby
that
Ritter.
song.
You know what's actually about a murder? He actually dances people to death. By
That
using
makes
that.
sense.
Man, look at that time.
We saw a good time from the Genital Giant, the first sub 9 second time. He made it a very
What's a
simple
genital
pass.
jap?
Genital Giant.
Oh, I'm sorry. You said it
Oh.
fast. I'm like, what?
You gotta keep up. It's a fast sport there.
The genital Japs car to be censored, obviously.
Like my wife.
No,
Meanwhile-
that means.
Something else that's supposed to be censored, probably I.B. Simmons in the spastic colon truck.
Oh shit.
And
Literally.
quite literally.
Exactly.
That's the joke. Randy, you're gonna get these sooner or later.
Don't catch on, boy. Don't worry.
John boy. I'm not fucking a wall. Never mind.
And spastic colon 9.31. That's gonna put him in 5th at the moment after 8 trucks running. Still got another 10 trucks running here in qualifying, but we're seeing that track doesn't have the grip it normally does. They're sliding around, and here we see the HCL broken face bone. Randy Rosenlodge, the reason he is here is because drunk Bruce Buffer bought himself a monster truck,
Yep.
and that is a very good run for Johnny Weber. 8:43, that's a really good time.
It's impressive for sure.
It's when I wake up.
That's
You wake up at 8:43 every day.
That's an oddly
do.
specific time to set your alarm.
That's funny
Hell
because
or
I
high
wake up.
water, rain or shine. But snow, no.
It's funny because I wake up myself at 8:77 every day.
Wow.
And
I do
meanwhile,
admire the clock you own, sir.
Thank you. It's impressive.
and we got the old salt, Doyle Webb, and he's driving the Oklahoma City Bomber. And he'd like to remind us every week that he named the truck before the unfortunate tragedy, and he shouldn't have to change it.
I think he's full of manure, much like the truck that was used in the actual bombing.
Well, it is in fact that is in fact one of the ways these trucks are running so fast. They're a new high-tech engine running on manure and a little bit of methanol.
Now, Doyle
Children died.
Doyle Webb had a backup name for this truck. He called it the Oklahoma Tornado. He just can't catch any rough.
No.
Well, that's his other truck that's running on another circuit. Here we're seeing the Killer Moth truck. Unfortunately, a lot of the comic book characters were already taken. We had to settle for the Killer Moth. But that's a decent time, 9.16.
Killer Moth was okay. I mean, Teen Titans, he had a guest spot. Never was on the animated series, I don't think. But he is around. Yeah.
And that's a decent time. Killer Moth, of course, did not make it out of the first round in last week's race, but he's going to be in the field. We're seeing it now. We got Bernie Jessup and the Wife Stomper.
Yeah, Wife Stomper!
Stomper.
A
It's
big
my
fan
favorite truck.
People got some favorites here. The Wife Stomper puts up a good time, 9.1. Only 2 trucks so far putting up a sub-9 time, but that's a good safe run, a safe pass. Doesn't want to wreck the truck, doesn't want to bring something through. He's going to have to race 4 more times if he wants to win today here in San Diego.
You know, I happen to see a lot of myself in the wife stomper.
How do you
Disgusting
suppose?
People.
It's because I like to hit my wife.
I gotta say something. I'm not reading any chat, but he is in Killer Moth was in New Batman Adventures, not the actual original animated series.
Wow.
And we're seeing a really good pass put up by last week's winner and the current points leader, Winford Law, and Amber Alert. And that windowless van is really picking up some speed around those turns. It is currently the second fastest qualifier, only behind the HCL Broken Facebone and Johnny Weber.
I don't like that Amber Alert.
Nobody does. She ruins everything.
And
Takes all the fun out of it.
Oh, my mistake. It was the Batman, not New Batman.
Puppet Pounder. Do it, Puppet Pounder.
And Puppet Pounder and Doug Soto, they're just trying to get a string of good runs together. 9-2-7. That's going to be enough to make the field.
That's okay, baby.
Well, at this point, you just got to make the field, and the bottom 2 trucks are not going to make the field, and they're not going to score any points, which is really going to hurt. And that looks like Horse Brutality is going to be one of those 2 trucks. But I'm getting word from the pits that Horse Brutality has, in fact, broken down anyway. There was something hitting on that run. And now we got Billy Bubkiss and Semen Extractor.
Disgusting. Why would it not?
Are you okay?
No!
What's wrong with y'all?
Oh, man.
Would you like to talk about something?
And another good time, Semen Extractor 906. That might be enough to put him in the top half of the rankings. Not enough for those extra bonus points.
Oh, because those matter, yeah. Actually, wait. Do they?
They actually do.
That doesn't matter.
And we're seeing Semen Extractor, a good cross to the
That's
finish
not.
line. And here's a bit of a controversial truck. Tommy Phelps Roper in the Westboro Crusader, sponsored by the Westboro Baptist Church.
Oh, boy.
And we're seeing that truck had a bit of a tough time last week. He's not having a good time either. Still getting a handle on that. He's one of our younger drivers. And the Westboro Crusader puts up a time of 9.44. We're going to see where that leads him. It's going to be in the last third. Is it enough? Okay, it's enough to make the field. But that is currently 14th place out of 16 trucks. And we got 2 more trucks to qualify. Here's Big Daddy Don Bodine and the Behemoth. He was the fastest qualifier last week. And this is a fan favorite truck. Everyone loves the Behemoth. And he puts up a 922.
As a kid, when I was younger, I was into the monster trucks, is why I was hired for this. I remember winning tickets, listening to a radio station to see him.
Well, we know this is not too far from the Carson Fairgrounds, and he's putting in an 11th place time. That's enough to make the field, but we know that Big Daddy Don Bodine really excels when he's racing side by side. And he got upset early in the second round last week by the Semen Extractor. But here's a truck that had a really rough go last week. Charlie Hickman in the compensator, and he's getting a little loose off that bus stop right off the line. Makes up for it, 8-9-8. And that's a good pass for the compensator.
A very good time.
And this is the truck. They were saying, Charlie Hickman was saying earlier, we got a better truck than last week showed. And he's really showing it now. That looks like it's good for 4th place.
Time. That is very, very good.
Very impressive.
And this is where you're going to make up that time. We've seen in these 18 qualifiers, you make up that time in that straightaway.
And there we're
you
seeing,
get loose on that straightaway, you could find yourself outside the qualifying.
And we're seeing how the bracket's going to shape up. The HCL Broken Facebone takes on Westboro Crusader in the first round. Meanwhile, the Wife Stomper takes on Killer Moth.
Yeah, Wife Stomper!
Charlie Hickman and the compensator, they meet Puppet Pounder. While Jack Simpson in Menopause takes on Don Bodine and the Behemoth. We go over to the second half of the bracket. Genital Giant meets up with Spastic Colon. And the Cradle Robber takes on Doyle Webb's Oklahoma City Bomber. And we round out the first round with Amber Alert meeting Assmaster 2. And Semen Extractor takes on Clit Punch.
Ow.
That is a strangely appropriate pairing. We're going to go here. We got first round action. Johnny Weber and the HCL Broken Facebone taking on Tommy Phelps Roper and Westboro Crusader.
Speaking of strange pairs, I remember I was at a black tie fair and there was this pair there.
Oh man, we
Nobody
can see
was
ourselves
eating.
with an upset here.
Oh, well, I'll finish it
Oh,
later.
never mind.
And HCL Broken Facebone takes the win, gets a little loose off that turn. The bus stop is really giving some trouble. But I'm sorry, I'm interested about that pairing you were seeing at that wedding.
Yeah, I mean, everybody thought it was kind of out of place because it wasn't related to anyone, and it took a seat in the aisles, but it did have a suit and tie on, so we just let it be, and you know what? It turned out being the guest of the night. So
Fantastic. That's wonderful to hear. Now on the other side, to find out who the Broken Facebone's going to take on, it's Wife Stomper and Killer Moth.
Yeah, go Wild Stomper!
And
Yeah!
Wife Stomper gets a little wide on that turn.
No!
It looks like Killer Moth.
Oh! Son of a bitch! Oh, damn it! Oh!
Yay. Something at least going is right.
Wild
And-
Stomper, I believed in you!
And Killer Moth with a 9.1 time, enough to beat the... Killer Moth enough to beat the Wife Stomper.
Nobody beats the Wild Stomper!
And you got to think with the way that Killer Moth ran, he's very consistent. He's got a chance to get Broken Facebone. Broken Facebone only ran a 9.66.
That's true.
Eileen better have dinner on the table when I get home. I'm a fixing to beat something. I mean, go Compensator.
And Compensator, boy, he does have a good truck this week. That's enough to really defeat the Puppet Pounder.
You guys ever fucked dogs before?
what?
That's a strange question.
Now, man, we do a lot of things here on the Southern Sports Hour presented by IRM Sports.
And look at
But
those
that
two
is not one of those
times.
things. That's a good time for Compensator. That is faster than any of the qualifying times.
I think
I'm
you
proud of
fucked a
Puppet
dog
Pounder,
before.
though. Puppet Pounder could have beat a lot of trucks with that sub-9 time, but Compensator just too strong this week.
I think what we're
Yeah.
seeing is this track is getting a little more grip to it. They're taking
You've
care of that.
definitely fucked dogs. Yeah,
Here we go.
you-
And this is a big first round matchup. Two of the top trucks in the whole season. Behemoth takes out Jackie Simpson and the Menopause.
Holy smoke, man.
And we're gonna
Running some
see.
fast times now.
Oh, we see that track is getting a little bit wetter. Much like your wife, right?
Oh,
You don't talk about my wife like that.
I'm sorry.
all due respect.
And the Behemoth with a solid run to move into the second round.
Hey.
And we're going to move to the
Hey,
other side. Yes, sir, Randy.
You know what I think? I think his wife has a gaping, cavernous vagina.
My wife is now Brian Knobs.
That's
I said
true.
Vagina.
And
not
we're seeing a really good upset. Spastic Colon takes out the third fastest qualifier in Genital Giant. And let's see those times. I think Genital Giant took that turn a little too wide. Tried to compensate for that.
And that's very funny because usually the Genital Giant would usually destroy the Spastic Colon. But
That
not
is-
today.
That is oddly true. I did not realize how appropriate that was when we saw the brackets. And meanwhile, we got Cradle Robber. Two old salts here. Leyland Burgess and Doyle Webb, two of the oldest, most experienced drivers on the circuit. And we're going to see they both hit the line pretty quickly. It's going to be close. It looks like Doyle Webb and the Oklahoma City Bomber has toppled another one.
He hit everything on that run as well as possible. Look at him coming off that bus. Keeps himself straight. Hits that turn well. That's the lowest time. That's an 8. A solid 8
8 seconds. That is the
8
fastest.
flat. That's
That is the
impressive.
fastest
Yeah!
time we have seen here in this race. And now it's going to be he's going to have to take on the Spastic Colon in the second round. But we got the last quarter of the brackets. Assmaster 2 on the right. Amber Alert on the left. Oh, they both take that jump really rough.
That's a flying butt.
But Looks like,
Assmaster 2 is going to take this by a long shot, it
well,
looks like.
I don't know what happened.
Oh
Assmaster 2
my
looks like
lord, what the
looks
hell
like-
happened to Assmaster?
Looks like he broke down. We're going to see what happens. He hits that. He lands really hard, takes a hard lick on that left side.
Yeah, he did.
He went out of the corner and then just died out there.
Really just died. And Amber Alert, not in a good way either. He took a big nosedive off that bus stop. And we're going to see.
Kids, how can you...
Hey, now.
Amber Alert and Broken Facebone are two very lucky trucks. They ran some very poor times, but they benefited from some trucks breaking down on them in their matches.
And semen extractor hits the wall.
Oh no!
We just saw that.
Fuck!
And Clip Punch gets a big, easy pass to the second round.
Hey, Dad?
8, 9, and 5.
You see, into the wall.
Yeah, someone died during another broadcast. They did it as involved HCL or old boxers or hunting or judo. Dead people. Yes.
We're going to take a look at that one more time, see what happened with Billy Bubkiss and the semen extractor. I'm hoping he's okay. Hits the bus stop. And that tire just kind of almost gives way, unable to stop, and hits that wall really hard.
Ladies and gentlemen, a man has just died here today. We should all pay him my respects.
Hold on. I saw a space bone. It went right into the crowd.
A space boner?
Face bone.
And we're going to see second round. HCL Broken Facebone takes on Killer Moth. Meanwhile, the Compensator takes on the Behemoth. That should be a big matchup in the second round. Compensator and Behemoth. The upset-minded Spastic Colon taking on the old Salt, Doyle Webb, and the Oklahoma City Bomber. Meanwhile, we just saw what happened. Amber Alert takes on Clip Punch in a rematch from last week's final.
Wow.
Maybe it isn't so bad. People are dying. Maybe it's not the worst thing ever. I mean,
We're gonna get some word on Billy Bubkiss, see how he's doing.
I think we need to have a moment of silence.
Well,
Wonderful man.
Unfortunately, there's no time as the HCL Broken Facebone takes on Killer Moth, and he's got his stuff figured out. The Broken Facebone moves on to the semifinals. And, Johnny Weber was saying how they had a really good truck last week. They put out together a bad qualifying time, and it kind of just set the pace for everything. They've got the truck to beat right now, the top qualifier, and they are moving on to the Final Four.
If Johnny Weber and the Broken Facebone can get that turn down, they have the breakaway speed in that straightaway to beat any truck here. If they can just find a way to get over that bus cleanly, they're going to have the time to beat.
And speaking of getting that turn down, Spastic Colon is going to be in the next race. But right now we got Compensator and the Behemoth, and they are running neck and neck. Compensator gets a little wide. He takes out the pole. He's on the divider.
This is going to be too close to call.
Looks like Compensator gets the win, but we're going to have to see what happened with him. He may not have a truck to run.
Replay on that one.
The Compensator just takes out the retaining barrier.
And gets set on fire because he's in fucking pyro.
He just takes a big lick. That is a rod underneath there. That might be snapped. And meanwhile,
are we ignoring the fact that he may be burned?
Yes.
that is.
Ladies and gentlemen, another man has lost his life here tonight.
We call this truck entertainment.
Room to say that, boy. He might be able to survive. If he survived, he better come back out there and race.
We call this truck entertainment. This is part of the entertainment, though. So.
Absolutely, it's part of the entertainment. And the Oklahoma City Bomber putting together some solid times. A bad qualifying time, but he seemed to have figured out what's going on with this course. And he's moving on to the Final Four. Takes out Spastic Colon and I.B. Simmons.
For some reason, I'm reminded of a time I was talking about a horse vagina. I don't know if that had to do with anything, but...
And the final quarterfinal, Amber Alert Clip Punch. This is a rematch from last week's final. Amber Alert took it last week, but we're going to see who it is this time. It looks like Clip Punch. By and large, Clip Punch takes it.
Oh, my goodness. That could be sub-8.
And Bort Rudiger, he's got a really fast truck. Let's see the times. 8:25 from Clip Punch. Easily beats Amber Alert by 3/4 of a second. But Bort Rudiger might be one of the drivers to watch here in Big F and Trucks.
he has one of the fastest trucks week in and week out, and it seemed like Amber Alert last week ran the time of his life last week to beat Clip Punch. Clip Punch and the Oklahoma City
consistent.
Bomber are my two favorites, and I think they're going to meet up in the semifinals.
They are. We got the HCL Broken Facebone taking on the Behemoth. We got word that the Compensator, unable to run, broke a rod underneath in its chassis, and he's going to have to be on the trailer. Behemoth will be taking the place. Compensator gets the points for the win, but it's the Behemoth coming in, taking the place of the Compensator against the fastest truck of the day, the Broken Facebone.
Come on.
And Behemoth takes a nosedive, and he's broke. And it's going to be Johnny Weber and the HCL Broken Facebone.
Come on. We got this.
The Broken Facebone is moving to the finals after the Behemoth took a nosedive off of that bus.
The Broken Facebone just seems to be up against a weak bracket. I got a feeling that whoever wins Clip Punch versus the Oklahoma City Bombers taking it. Broken Facebone has just not been able to replicate that sub-9 time they ran qualifiers.
And we're seeing what happens with the Behemoth. He just he slid on his nose of that truck, right on that grill, slid down there, and he just must have broke something, but he just lost control.
You rarely ever see guys get a second chance, and he got one, and he fell on his face.
That's what he did. And Big Daddy Don Bodine is one of our best drivers on the circuit, and there's nothing he could do when you got broken equipment. He did the best he could. Meanwhile, Doyle Webb, an Oklahoma City Bomber, gets sideways over the line, but Bort Rudiger and Clip Punch has taken the win, and I think the way to go about this is you take that bus stop real easy. You can't take it too hard, or you're going to wreck your truck. But Bort Rudiger is going to make it to the finals once again, and he's picking up some valuable points. And I think he might have to. He might have just taken. He's got to be the points leader right now. Even win or lose, he's the points leader going into race 3. And it's going to be the HCL Broken Facebone, the fastest qualifier, taking on the consistently fast Clip Punch. And we're going to see who it is. This is the finals here on Big Effin' Trucks. The HCL Broken Facebone and Johnny Weber. Clip Punch and Bort Rudiger. Who you got, boys?
Gotta go with Clip Punch.
It's been in my history that nothing is ever faster and more unexpected than a Clip Punch.
And they're hitting it even. They're hitting the line pretty even. I don't know who it is.
Come on.
We're going to have to see.
Might be Broken Facebone.
They're saying the Broken Facebone has beaten
Unbelievable.
Clip Punch.
Yes.
Wow.
Look at those times. 2/100ths of a second.
My goodness.
22 later today, and now we're taking over.
The reputation of somebody that can't finish off the job.
And the HCL Broken Facebone has won it. And we're going to see the points. Look at that. Moves up to 3rd place. But Clip Punch takes 1st place in the point stand, and Amber Alert stays in 2nd. Look at Doyle Webb and the Oklahoma City Bomber. The Behemoth and Cradle Robber round out the top 6. Compensator in 7th, moving up. Semen Extractor, Genital Giant, Menopause, Spastic Colon, and Killer Moth. And there we see the bottom of the tables. Assmaster 2, Puppet Pounder, Westboro Crusader, Wife Stomper, Horse Brutality, and Reptile Dysfunction. Well, fans, thanks to the Racing Boys for joining me. The HCL Broken Facebone is your winner here in San Diego. We'll see you next week in Houston at Reliance Stadium. Until then, this is Big Effin' Trucks. We'll see you next time, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeehaw.